How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm working on my scionxb. I kind of wanted to try a different way of doing something. I've never done this before, and it's actually real simple and easy. Before I get into that, if you could do me a huge favor, go ahead and hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Definitely would appreciate it. Also follow our socials, links are in the description below: Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Let's get started. So getting right into it, I wanted to do a power steering fluid change on my scionxb. Now, if you watch the previous videos, I've done a power steering flush change on the TC already, and I wanted to try a different method that I saw on this XB, and that's using this right here. It's a fluid extractor, or a pump, not a pump, but a extractor, a syringe. So I want to try this method out and kind of give you feedback on what I thought of it and if I like it or not. And yeah, so on the XB, the power steering reservoir is right there. All you have to do is just open the reservoir cap, use a syringe, suck out the fluid, as much fluid as you can, pour in the new fluid, and obviously turn the wheel left or right. I'm gonna put the front on jack stands to make it easier, and go through a couple cycles and pretty much try to push all the old fluid through. Now the question is this a 100% fluid change? Obviously not, but for what I would consider this the lazy method, and it interests me, should be pretty good. I do have some AMSOIL fluid right here that I ordered. Big thank you to AMSOIL. I'm sponsored by them, but I actually bought this because this isn't to do with any of the show and demo vehicles. It's for my own personal use, so I bought this to use. On the scionxb, it says you can use Dex 3 for the transmission fluid. The power steering fluid. You could also use power steering fluid, but to my understanding, Dex 3 or ATF, Dex 3 automatic transmission fluid, is fine also. So I've known a couple other people that have done this and it's worked fine, so I'm going with that. But yeah, let me go ahead and get the car on jack stands and get started, and then I will be right back. All right, now that I have the car on jack stands in the front with the e-brake up, do the quick shake test, make sure it's safe. Even though I'm not going underneath the car, you always want to make sure that you're working in a safe environment. So here's the engine bay. Super filthy, have not had time to clean it, and it's been raining on and off outside, so we'll get to this later. But here is the power steering fluid reservoir. You just got to take the cap off. Have a rubber cap to protect the actual cap here. So you can see down here, you just twist it and it comes right out. You see the fluid level is good. So I'm gonna put the camera down real quick and try to set it up so that I can show you what I'm doing. Pretty much all you're doing is taking the syringe, putting the hole, sucking out as much as you can, and pouring in the ATF or power steering fluid to fill it up, and then you start the car and you keep turning the steering wheel left or right to cycle the fluid through. And each time you do this, theoretically, it should get better and better and better. As you saw in the footage, I used the syringe to remove the power steering fluid and pretty much emptied out the reservoirs from what I could tell, and then filled it back up. And now what I'm doing is I'm going to start the car, turn the steering wheel left to right continuously, and all the way left, all the way right to let the fluid cycle. And in the theory is the old fluid and the new fluid will mix, and you just keep repeating the process of removing and replacing the fluid. Obviously this isn't the most efficient way, but I wanted to try it out, see how it is. So far it's been pretty easy. Don't mind the sweat. It's not because I'm working hard, trust me, that's not happening. It's more so it's hot, super hot in Vegas. Outside looks really nice. It looks like it's a 70-degree day, but the heat is just insane. So yeah, let me go ahead and do this, and then I will be right back. All you're doing is turning the steering wheel one way to the other, back and forth continually. Let the fluid pump and cycle through the system. And as a word of advice, do not, make sure that the reservoir is not empty when you start doing this turning process, because the thing you're gonna run into is there's gonna be air in the system and you'd have to bleed all that out, and that is a huge pain. So just be mindful of what you're doing and make sure there's always fluid in the reservoir. I'm gonna go back and go ahead and extract the fluid, see how the color is, and then go from there. All right, I did 2 more rounds of extraction and fill, and also turning the wheels back and forth, the steering wheel back and forth with the car on, so the fluid is pumping through. As you can see here on the towel, it's pretty nice and light color, so we are good there. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap back on, clean this all up, and get it all nice and tidy, get the car back on the ground, and come back and give you my feedback. All right, I'm back. So to give you my review on the overview of doing the fluid flush or fluid change on this with the syringe method, it is very easy. Took me more time to get the car on jack stands and actually do the video work for you than it is to do the actual work. Remember, real straightforward, car on jack stand safely, or at least the front, so that you could turn the wheels on the XB, extract the fluid, add new fluid, cap it off, put the cap back on, start the car, turn the steering wheel left and right, I would say 4 to 5 times each way, shut the car off, open the cap, take out the fluid, add fluid again, and repeat. I did it 3 times in total, and the fluid was extracting out very clean and pretty much the same color as the brand new fluid, so I'm good there. Again, is it 100% fluid flush? No, but close enough, and it was real easy to do. If I have to do this every 30,000, 40,000 miles, so be it. I ended up using 2/3 of a quart of the fluid, so we're good there. Didn't use a whole lot, but yeah, that was pretty much my overview of doing this method. Probably do it on a few other cars too if I'm too lazy to do the other method, which is more sure-proof, but this way is easy too, especially for those of you out there that aren't so mechanically or so technical on working on cars. Other than that, that concludes today's episode. Thank you so much again for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments of this method. Definitely would like to hear some feedback. Until next time, you guys take care. See you on the next episode.